I'm happier now.
All right, guys. So we got the engine. Well, guys, I don't know about you, James, but I'm glad this one's over with.
I'm happy to be on dry land for a minute.
Yeah, it was this delivery. Things changed, and today we want to talk about it. And we're going to try and be as quick as we can here, but really want to talk about what happened, what went right, what went wrong, and all the stuff that happened here. And I'm going to just kind of put the pictures in here, some footage. There was, to me, it was an incredible adventure. Let's start with that. And another thing, before we get started, anybody that doesn't know, this is James Williams, right?
Yep.
And he is our local helicopter pilot, but he also does all the drone footage. Because he has his helicopter license, he's able to fly the drone, and it's legal for us to post the videos on YouTube. So we thank him for that.
Anytime.
Yeah. He does all the drone
you'll
footage.
see the dope drone footage that we got on.
Oh yeah, I'll show you some right now. It's really cool. Anyway, so we also deliver yachts together. It's just something we do. We've been doing a lot lately because just local stuff, but nothing this big. This is our biggest one.
This is the longest haul.
Yeah, and typically how it works is I'm usually the helmsman. If the owner's with us, the owner is the captain, and then I'm usually at the helm most of the time, and James is the engineer and takes over at the helm when needed and stuff, everything like that. But he's the one that's like making sure that everything's running, checking the engines, generators, and everything like that. And he earned his money on this one.
Two engine failures on a single engine, and a generator failure.
Oh, it was
during the first engine failure.
Yeah, it was. We'll get to it, but the first thing that happened.
And the bathroom door handle broke and locked you inside.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll start. We left the bay there. We had our weather window. We picked our weather window. It looked good, but it was short and it was going to close fast, and we all knew that. I mean, and the Nordic tug again. It was just a privilege to drive this thing. It's 32-foot Nordic tug. Oh man, what it just handled. It was sporty out there at best. I mean,
it was ripe.
Yeah,
it got ripe.
Yeah.
Not terrifying, but
I mean, the inside of this thing looks like a bomb went off, but
and this is cleaned up.
Yeah,
this is re-secured.
Yeah, it literally looked like a bomb went off in here because I mean, obviously we didn't have the TV was gone. Everything that was over here was over there, and everything that was here, and it got sporty out there. But so we'll explain to you what happened. But anyway, so we get the drone and we recover the drone. That was a story in itself. I think I did a little video talking about it, but he flew the damn thing right into my hands. It was unbelievable.
Which I honestly don't know how I did.
Yeah.
It just happened, and I was like, cool, grab that.
Yeah, we had to turn the boat around. So then we're out the first day. I think everything went smooth. The weather was good. Pretty much as predicted. Maybe
we had a little
more.
like 2 to 3 foot waves, and so we kind of tacked in and out of them just to be more comfortable for the first day, and then the first night was good.
Yeah, I slept good and everything.
And then day 2 was calm, beautiful.
Yeah, that night everything went really, really well. I think a lot of traffic in New Orleans. I did not expect that. It was like
New Orleans oil fields at night and a lot of traffic.
Oh, it was just an immense amount of traffic.
The radar was key on that one.
Hey, I don't know if you know it, but you were sleeping, and I got us into a no security zone thing.
The Navy got mad at you.
I don't know who it was, but I tell you what, they didn't show up on the radar or nothing, and they said, I went south. He goes, Griffin, this is, they didn't even identify who they were. They said,
get out of my area.
Yeah, right. You're in a safety zone.
Yep.
And he goes,
and then you went south, and they were like, no, wrong. Go north.
Yeah, he goes, I turned the boat south because I was going to go around it the other way, just the long way, get away from all the rigs and all the traffic out there. And he goes, Griffin, you need to go north immediately.
I think that's what woke me up was the like several turns, like we were doing corkscrews.
So anyway, that happened the first night, but we got through it and everything was fine. And the weather was. Did you sleep good that night? Did you?
Oh yeah, I slept fine on the couch here.
Yeah. Anyway, so then first night everything was good. Weather was exactly what was projected. Next day we get up, really smooth, calm day. Exactly
Beautiful.
what we expected.
Like a bathtub. It was great.
And then about 3 o'clock. That's about what time it happened, right? 3, 4 o'clock?
Right, I remember because we were eating lunch.
Oh, yeah, he cooked us...
right in the middle of brisket or pork loin. It was good.
You guys got to remind me to tell you the brisket story that I have one day about this barbecue. But he cooks barbecue brisket. There's more to the story than this. But later on, the brisket comes up.
We had the shrimp boat or fishing boat that was not responding and on a collision course with us.
Oh, yeah.
And while I was trying to talk to them, including like blowing the horn quarter mile away, no response, then we started to get the rough engine.
Yeah, the engine starts going. It just starts going in and out, in and
just
out.
RPM changes, like 100, 200 RPMs up and down.
So James jumps up immediately. He's freaked out.
Yeah, I was very concerned. That's a weird thing to have an engine do.
So we continued to motor on probably about another 15 minutes.
I think it was less than that. I think it was more like
10 minutes.
Maybe like 5 to 10 minutes between start of first sign and then going away and coming back, and then a sudden done. It is stuttered, sputtered, died. Done.
Then the engine's just done.
The fishing boat is still on a collision course with us at about a quarter mile at this
point.
point.
Oh, yeah, you're on the radio
I'm trying to yell at them.
Responding.
I'm blowing the horn. I'm flicking the lights on and off.
Yeah.
I did everything but throw things at them.
Yeah. And our weather window's closing up on us, and we know. So the next thing we do is we've been through this before. I've been through it on my boat a couple times.
And fuel filters, right?
Fuel filters, yeah.
It's a fuel supply issue.
Yeah, and we have plenty of fuel filters. I don't think either one of us were panicked at that moment.
It was just annoying because the seas were rough and we were getting turned on the beam and it was just bouncing us around a little. But
yeah, a little uncomfortable.
As long as we didn't get hit, we were good.
So anyway, we grabbed the fuel filters. I probably took us 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We had all the fuel filters changed.
Yeah, both the primary and the engine.
Yeah, and then we bleed the system. They got a little pump down there on the Cummins, and there are a couple little bleed screws.
I use the engine-mounted fuel pump with the manual lever to bleed out through the whole system all the way up to the injector, and then the bleed screws on the injector.
So then,
and that's what the manual said to do.
Right, and that's how I bleed my Lehmans. So
on the Lehmans it works perfect.
So we thought we'd be good, and we go to hit the start button, and these engines don't. This engine doesn't start. Zero, less than nothing. And I mean, it's cranking, but it's not starting. We're going, oh my God. So then we set the anchor, and then we find another problem.
We set the anchor and got the generator on.
Yeah, then we turned the generator on. That we know we have batteries and everything like that. If we ended up spending the night, we
were comfortable.
Right.
As comfortable as you can be in rolly seas, but comfortable.
You're right.
We even threw out a stern anchor to try to keep ourselves into the waves so it wasn't rolling so bad.
Yeah, right. So anyway, we get all that done. And then I started feeling sick about 2 hours in of just rolling around there.
Well, after working the problem for a little while, we did decide to call for a tow.
Yeah,
we'd worked the problem, we were not finding a solution, and so we decided, all right,
Boat US.
We're only a few miles offshore in Louisiana, called Boat US, and they're getting us set up. But we have very minimal cell signal, so we're really trying to get this out quick, and
yeah. So we got Boat US, and they said, yes, we're working on it. We'll send somebody, blah, blah, blah. So a couple hours go by. We're trying to get go over all of our situations. I'm getting sicker by the minute. I got to go lay down.
Yeah, hanging my head down in the hot engine room was a bad move. Every time I did that.
What happened was then the generator failed.
Well, then we actually got the main running again.
No. No. The generator,
because I remember I opened the hatch again and there was water.
Yeah, there's water in there, so we had to shut the generator down.
That's what it was. I went to check on the engine and there was just water in the bilge.
We don't know what's going on. Now we're sinking.
Yeah, we're slowly sinking. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, this is not good.
No.
And I realized that it's coming out of the generator box.
Yes.
Like it's sloshing out of the box as we roll.
So we spent probably 2 hours. This is where I got sick. Because then we spent 2 hours down there.
Yeah, because we're waiting on tow. So we were like, all right, I'll fix the generator. Because I got nothing better to do with my time. I'm waiting on the tow. I'll fix the generator.
Right. So then he pulls the shrouds off the generator, and he finds the problem on the generator, and he's able to MacGyver some fix to it.
Yeah, so there was a split in a rubber boot, but essentially a pipe, underneath a pipe strap. And so I found the leak. That's what was pouring seawater in. So I took a piece of rubber tubing, and I had Paul cut me a 1/2 inch section and then splice it into a C. So I had a little C of rubber tubing. I took a pipe strap and put it over the split and tightened it down and actually sealed the leak.
Yeah.
And so now the generator's good. It's running.
Everything's fine.
We got power again.
Yeah, so we got power. That way we can keep our battery charged if we have to keep priming on the engine. Anyway, but in the meantime, we call CTOs. So this is 3, 4.
Towboat US.
Towboat US, not CTO. Yeah.
Which I'm not endorsing them at this
No.
moment.
No.
Because the story continues from here.
So now 2 hours have gone by, and our weather
It's
window's
getting
closing.
dark. The weather's getting worse. Seas are getting higher. Winds, rain.
Yeah, I would say we went from.
We went down to a mile visibility about, and
yeah.
maybe like 2 to 3 foot seas, like building.
Freezing rain.
Oh, and we're getting drug offshore.
Yeah.
We're starting to drag the anchor a little bit.
And it's freezing rain, basically.
Freezing rain.
Yeah.
So working in the lazarette with seawater coming over the stern and freezing rain coming down on top of you is not super fun.
No. And you're a mess, dude. Like, the generator was a fight. You got it running. And then
At this point, I'm up to my ankles just soaked in bilge water.
Oh, yeah.
And that's gross. Bilge water.
Yeah. and it was clean down there before all this.
Oh, it's beautiful,
down.
but the reaches underneath the engine where you
Yeah.
can't get to, it started sloshing and like.
Yeah, and so then that's when I got sick. I went and laid down for a couple hours because now the generator's running. We're waiting for CETO.
We're stable. We're waiting on.
Or not CETO, Boat US.
Yeah.
And so James gets back on the phone with the owner, and they're talking about, where's our tow? When's he getting here? Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I finally got back in touch.
And I'm up in the
with
front
him.
now, just trying to rest right now. I'm done. As
Yeah.
far I'm literally seasick. It's the first time I've been seasick in a long time.
And well deserved.
Yeah.
It was not a pleasant condition. We're getting spun around and just rocked on the beam.
Yeah, right.
Things are flying.
Yeah. So anyway, I get up there and I'm actually feeling a little bit better. And James they're trying to update me, and so James comes in and I hear him talking on the phone, and the guy is saying, "Here's your options: abandon ship. That was our option, and so I'll come get you."
That was the option.
Right.
There was no other option. They said we're not coming. There's no.
Yeah,
tow
there's
coming.
no tow coming. But I will come get you.
They could get us rescued from the
They'll come
Francis
get us.
Parish Red Marine Police. They could come get us.
They would come get us off the boat.
But they were not capable of towing us. They just
right.
could get us.
So then...
And we're not like ready to abandon ship. So
No.
we're like, nah.
No. But I had the thought.
I thought about it.
I was sick, man.
Yeah.
I was like, one step over the side and it's over for me. So anyway, then... the Marine Police tell us they'll come get us, but this guy happened to be a diesel mechanic.
Yeah, the lieutenant with the Marine Police, who was the guy coming on ship. It turns out he was a fishing boat captain and a diesel mechanic, a marine diesel mechanic before he was a cop. And so I told him what engine we had, and he was like, "Oh, I know that engine," and he was not kidding.
Because I know the engine too, but I'm thinking if the only thing I can see if we have this primed correctly. The only other thing it can be is the injector pump. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because, it's fuel and air. And so we know we had fuel primed, and we even pulled the air filters and checked them.
Yeah.
I tried to start it without the air filter, just to see if we
Everything,
get it
yeah,
started.
right.
And so we know we've got air, we've got fuel to the injector pump. We're thinking, okay, then our neck, and even the lieutenant was telling me, if the only other option is your injector pump's done, and there's nothing you can do about that. But he had one last ditch effort. He was like, all right, I don't care what the manuals say. Crack the injectors one at a time, try to turn it over and bleed them out. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. And that guy knew this engine so well, he told me it's an 11/16 wrench.
Yeah, he knew.
And he was right.
Right.
It was
Everything he told James was correct. So now we have a glimmer of hope. I had lost hope because I'm seasick, and I'm like, this ain't...
But then we were back in the fight.
Right.
We were ready.
Right,
we had
right.
a plan. We had something to do,
So then he gets to the last injector because I'm hitting the start button. I don't think I actually helped you then. I was still in the bed
I was
sick.
jumping up and down. I was doing start button and watching the
Yeah,
injector,
right,
and
because-
then jumping down and
Yeah,
grabbing
right.
this one.
I'm still in bed sick.
Yeah. And I went from top to bottom, like highest injector at the front of the engine to back, and nothing. Number 6 started the engine, and we got it running.
Yeah, that was
And it
just
was
such
hallelujah.
a
We're getting out of here, ladies. Let's go. Like,
So
not today. Like,
I beat you today.
Yep.
So and it was
It was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful moment. Everyone's celebrating.
We're high fiving each other. We're pulling the anchor. You see me out here on the front here pulling
and it was
the anchor.
rough.
And
Paul had to go forward and pull the anchor, and help with the anchor because he had to guide me. I was at the controls, running the windlass and driving the boat. But I'm just doing what he says. He's giving me hand signals, and we're just trying to maneuver the boat to get the anchor up, which actually went surprisingly.
Yeah, right.
smooth.
It did. It's like the boat is really
well rigged.
we're well rigged for that. So anyway, we get the anchor up, and now we're cooking, and we're cooking with fire.
We're on it. We actually decided to just continue on our route. We were going to Texas. because like it was,
we
it was
had
fixed.
the boat. We had the boat running.
We knew the problem was bad fuel. We knew that as a result of fuel
Our
change,
weather
we had
window
air,
was closing in on us quick,
and we were
and
trying
had
to get out of that
going.
weather. So we were running.
But our run didn't last long.
5 hours later, everyone, the other guys went to bed. They were all tired. I wanted to watch the.
I think before though, you told me, Paul, give us a couple outs here just before you go to bed to make sure.
Yeah.
Let's look and see where we can
start
get
looking
out.
for an out in case things start to get bad again. And especially we were looking for an out on the right line to ride the waves.
Yeah, right.
Like so we were just looking for the angle to get inshore.
So we already had that plan. So I went back. I'm seasick. I'm sick. So I went back to bed. James is at the helm. And 5 hours later, it dies.
Yep.
And I think that...
Like 5 hours almost exactly, because I'm staring at this engine the whole time.
Yeah.
Everyone else is asleep, I'm watching gauges. Like.
And so then it's just... I think it's heartbreaking.
That was pretty soul-crushing.
But the soul-crushing part was then I got back up with you. I'm feeling a little bit better. And then we jumped back in the engine room. We changed out that rate core back there. We did not change the main engine.
Well, it died again. That was the next... Like, it died again.
Yeah.
And so then we did it again. We went through the next process, like changed the rate core.
My thought in my head at that point was, we got this. I don't care if every 5 hours.
We'll keep changing rate cores. Yeah,
right.
We'll get to shore. Like,
but this is where it gets a little hairy. He goes into the back now. He's exhausted. He's covered in diesel fuel. He's covered in bilge sludge.
Bilge water and diesel fuel.
I gotta show you guys
I'm
this
beat
picture
up.
at the end of the day.
After we finally got it running the last time, I refused to leave the engine.
He couldn't.
So I just slept on top of the engine compartment.
Yeah.
Just exhausted, dirty. I couldn't
Like
even
he's done physically. Like, but what happened was, we got the whole thing primed because it's a 15-minute, 20-minute ordeal. Priming the whole thing and all the thing. And now this time I'm up there, literally. He's telling me to do that. I open the side door and I'm literally puking out.
Puking and hitting the button to crank the engine for me. And at that time I was.
We don't throw an anchor out of nothing that time.
Oh no, we were doing
it. We're pros at
because now we're drifting towards shore. So we were good continuing to drift.
And we're pros at priming this thing now.
Yeah, we're doing it fast.
Yeah.
And the engine's still hot. And I just said,
you still got burns on your hand.
Oh yeah, I just said I had to do it. We didn't have time to wait for it to cool down. So I just grabbed a hot tool and worked on a hot engine, and I have a couple little like blister burns.
Anyway, so he's down there. We start the engine. We get the engine fired up, and I hit the throttle, and we take off. Thing dies, and we're going, oh no. So I'm thinking,
we're done. Everyone's like,
he's spent. You're spent, dude.
Yeah.
You're like. You're physically exhausted. You're mentally
I was up against
exhausted.
it because, like, even when you guys got a little rack time, I was still watching the engine. For 5
yeah,
hours
right.
Because I was,
because you couldn't.
There's no way I was going to go to bed. That's why I had to just watch the engine.
So, long story short, James is looking around. He's going, "What the heck just happened?" He runs back into the lazarette.
I went back to check the fuel filters again, and I noticed that the valves were off. And I was like, well, I am that stupid right now. It could definitely be me. So I asked the other guys, I was like, have I been back outside since we started the engine last? And they were like, no. I was like, okay, I think this one's on me. Like, we might be able to solve this. Turn the fuel valves open.
And we had to go through the whole bleeding
Reprime the engine.
Yeah, right.
Reprimed it, bled the injectors.
But at that time.
And she clicked on.
Yeah,
it was so
oh, that was. But by then now we're taking her out. We're going inshore. We know because
any port in a storm, like we're going.
Yeah, because we lost our weather window and
we're too far behind it. We can't go.
Yeah, we can't go, and we decided we have to turn in. We take the out. We had to go that 50 miles, that 5 hours, no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
Now we have 5 hours into shore.
Yep.
And James he's spent. He can't do it anymore. But I've already puked overboard.
Yeah, you got over the season.
I'm back. So I'm at the helm now. It's freezing freaking rain. You can't see. I couldn't see my hand in front of my face.
It was all radar.
Yeah,
radar
it was radar, autopilot, and all the electronics. This boat is rigged out beautifully for AIS
for real,
and everything.
The seas built up to 4s consistently, and maybe bigger than that. It was dark,
well,
so it's
we were
hard to
taking
tell.
them on the stern, so
we were surfing them.
Yeah.
In fact, we surfed up to about 14 knots at one point.
Yeah, this boat surfs pretty nice, actually.
It was very comfortable once we were underway.
Yeah,
It was only when we were bobbing around. Once we got power and we were moving, it was okay. I could ride that all night.
Yeah. And so anyway, we're heading in because now we'll just jump in there and I don't want to wake James for any reason. I don't think I could have at some point.
Nothing but the sound of that engine dying would have woken me up at that point.
Yeah. And I'm praying. So then I take the 5-hour run in. I call the lockmaster on the radio, and I say, lockmaster, Freshwater Lake lock.
Freshwater Bayou.
Yes, Freshwater Bayou lock.
Awesome, by the way. Great place,
Yeah.
great people. They were super helpful.
Yeah, I says, hey, we've had a few engine problems. We need a few hours to tie off to something.
We just need a place to make repairs.
Yeah, and he says he gave me a location, and we're doing this in total darkness
And like ice
freezing.
fog.
Yeah,
like,
ice.
Like
yeah.
visibility's down to maybe a quarter
Quarter
mile
mile,
at
yeah.
this point.
And we're pulling in, but you know what? With the electronics he had on the boat, everything
Totally doable.
Everything was
Really didn't have any problem.
And then once we got in there, there was no in the canal there. There was no the waves had stopped. So
Oh yeah, once we got inshore, it was all good.
So then actually pulled over the place. I'll show you a picture here. It was actually a pretty cool little place, but it was a shithole.
It clearly had gotten like hurricane level and not rebuilt.
Built, right.
So there's one shrimp boat using it.
Yeah.
And there was one truck of some guy fishing, and then there was us tied off to a pylon. And
But we're right there at the lock. So then the next morning they lock us through, and I was still able to let James sleep. I should have let him sleep, but I didn't.
he woke me up to help with the lock, and rightfully so. But this lock was so easy.
I was able to do it by myself. And then we just jammed down. We got fuel, and then just headed down the intercoastal. And after that,
Yeah, we went to Shell Morgan. That was a really cool spot.
It was.
They had good prices on fuel. They had extra filters. We reef-topped water, ditched our trash. It was all good.
Yeah, and so then we run in there. But now we're running the intercoastal because now it's not that we don't trust the boat, but we have.
At that moment, I didn't trust the boat.
We have dirty fuel tanks.
Yeah, we
do.
know there's contaminated fuel.
The fuel has to be polished, and we don't want to be bouncing around out there anymore. So we said we're going to run the intercoastal, and I loved the intercoastal, but that was the busiest traffic. I did the entire 6,000 miles loop.
It was all commercial, and everyone was very helpful. Everyone talked to us and worked with us, but it was busy.
There's no joke about that. I mean, you got to know your ones and your twos. You've got to know, and
we've been talking about that since the last 2 days.
And you've got to be. I mean, you've got to be able to handle those radios, and you've got to be able to that radio is constantly going off. Your AIS jamming is constantly going off.
I had to turn off the alarms because there's constant alarms.
And it gets shallow in that canal. Even today, when you took your nap today, man, it got so shallow. And then just as we're coming into Houston Bay here, this big ship, man, like this. I gotta show you this picture.
Oh, ship. This was a no joke 700-foot ship.
I'm going to port here. But before I do that, you guys got to see this picture of the bay here because this was absolutely gorgeous. We got blessed with
it was a good
coming
reception.
into Houston.
It was a welcome home.
Oh yeah, it was just absolutely
beautiful
gorgeous.
sunset, flat, beautiful water.
And then right after that, the ship comes on me. I've got to go port into the marina here, and this ship comes in, and this thing is like
he's cooking.
Yeah, well, we looked him up on the AIS. It's a 400-foot ship.
It's 700.
Oh,
700-foot cargo ship, but he was light. He had no cargo on board.
Yeah, and I got a picture of him, and he's coming in hot, and we're and I've got to go.
He got a time to make. There was a dock waiting on him, and he was getting there.
Yeah, right. Anyway, but all in all, brother, I gotta say thank you. I just had probably one of the greatest. This is the stories
it was an adventure.
Yeah, right.
It was an event. We get to share it with all these people.
Right, and life is living with no regret, and I truly believe that, and I don't regret this trip at all. I was like, we probably made a few. I don't even know if any real mistakes because we had.
I'll say that pretty confidently. Looking back on it, we didn't make any choices I regret. Bad things happen. We had to fight through them, and we did manage to. We self-rescued.
Yeah, right.
No one was coming, and we took care of it. And I don't think I would do it any different way.
No,
it's what happens.
It's why me and James.
People aren't going to like that answer, by the way.
Yeah,
right. They're definitely going to hate me for that.
Yeah, right. But we worked our way through all the problems. We got through them, and we're here to tell the story. And the boat made it in safely, and everybody
Not
was
a scratch.
Yeah, everything went fine.
Engines running like a top.
Yeah, and even today now would we go back out it to sea in this thing again? Not until the fuel's polished.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not
dirty fuel. That was the issue.
right. Just get the fuel polished, and
So honestly, it's a good thing that we found this issue, because had we taken the inside and it been a nice smooth passage,
you would have never known.
no one would have known, and this boat would be sitting here with dirty fuel, waiting to be a trap for somebody.
Yeah, right. So
it's a good thing we found it, because we dealt with it.
Right.
We're all here. We're all good.
yeah. Anyway, guys, I want you to live life with no regret. You're going to give us a hard time about this video, but it is what it is. I mean, I love the Nordic
That's
tug. And I had a great time. Thanks, James. Thank you so much. And I hope to do another one with you soon. Maybe we'll get
Anytime.
somebody. Yeah, it was awesome. Anyway, no regrets. Thank you, guys. Peace out.